In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, peace be upon you. Europeans are unfortunately cursed by God. They have done great evils in the world. I have listed some of their evils in my video. President Assad is Imam Mahdi? But how do I know the Europeans are cursed? Because they promote and have homosexuality and transgender agendas, etc. Why is this a sign that they are cursed? Homosexuality and deformity destroys a people or nation. If your people become homosexual, you are unable to produce children. You are unable to continue your bloodline. Their women don't want to have their babies, and when they do, they're relatively infertile. And I've got a diagram of the 2015 fertility rates, information from the CIA, but unfortunately I'm skeptical about the accuracy of it. Now we must realize that nature, God, and all his creation have turned against the Europeans. Some homosexuals get together and have test tube babies, you might argue, but this is expensive and difficult. They are a declining, cursed people. Sorry about that, I had to deal with my daughter. God has created all his creation to be self-cleansing and self-sufficient, so it is able to wipe out a people that are behaving inappropriately. It's amazing how the Europeans are so afraid that their people will disappear, that their blue-eyed, blonde-haired race will disappear. But if they had true belief, they would know God has created any skin color, any eye color, and any hair color, and he can create any people quite easily, or preserve any people that are that have obtained that right to be preserved. God can create blue-eyed, fair-skinned believers in a family of dark-skinned people. He can do whatever he wills. If he wants a thing to exist, he simply says, be, and it is. So these Europeans, they go around killing other peoples across the world. They committed genocide against the Native Americans, the Aborigines, the Japanese, the Vietnamese, the Africans, the Jews, the Muslims. The list is endless. And they've done this to restrict others in case other people threaten their existence. And they don't realize as they've done this, they have become more and more ingrained as an evil race. And they completely fail to recognize their own hypocrisy. They have the cheek to protest against immigration when they have fed on the blood of other people, and America and Australia is a prime example. They blame death and destruction on other people. They'll blame the Muslims, the Jews. No, it's this week it's the Jesuits. The next week it's the Egyptian kings and queens who have secretly travelled into Europe and taken over positions of power. They blame everyone except their own selves. but their crimes are written on their foreheads, and their own transgender homosexual bodies are rebelling from their evils, causing their people to self-destruct. Their leaders, who they have allowed to massacre other peoples across the world, are now humiliating them with poisons in their water, in their medicine, in the air, in their detergents, in their food. They are being attacked from all sides by their very own leadership, who they have put into power. And then again, an example of their hypocrisy and corruption and evilness is they put people like Obama into power, and then they blame Muslims, saying he is the Antichrist of the Muslims, which all I can say is the devil has caused confusion in their own minds. Any true believer can witness that their people are under attack because of their curse, and Christians, Western Christians, European Christians announce God's punishment on the American nation every day of the week, and we can see it on YouTube all the time. And these are warnings coming from God. There is a way out of this. The time is very short. We are living in end times. When you see lesbian, gay, transgender demonstrations and Sodom and Gomorrah in your town, then you have to know that your time is up. The only way to change this is to beg for forgiveness and guidance. The only way to change this is to arrest and put on trial bankers, politicians, lawmakers, corporate elite and royalty. The only way to change this is to stop charging interest and destroy interest. It is cursed by God for good reason. The only way to change this is to write off third world debt. The only way to change this is to stop wars and oppression of other peoples. Just stop your murder and slaughter and your interference in other countries. Stop paying mercenaries to kill other people in the Middle East. Stop killing your own people in false flags and hoaxes and blaming Muslims. Give power and generous proportions of land to the Native Americans and Aborigines who you stole land from, and allow them to live self-sufficient lifestyles in harmony with nature. Don't force Native Americans to earn a living on gambling. Don't tamper or restrict food or natural medicines. Stop killing babies in the womb and otherwise, and feeding them to people or eating them yourselves. May God guide you, protect you, and give you peace. May God even guide Satanists, the Antichrist, and the devil to the straight path.